Throughout our everyday life, we as humans go through all sorts of different emotions, those that are joyful and happy, and those that aren't so good, one of which is an emotion we all feel from time to time: fear. We all have our own individual fears, some more common than others, such as the fear of heights, the dark, or even spiders. Some are more unusual than others, such as the fear of dust, buttons, or even men, and some are very understandable, such as the fear of failure.
I asked people from Coventry what they feared and why.
I don't like spiders because they freak me out.
I'm scared of death because I'm scared to die, and you don't know what's going to happen after that.
Answer zombies, because when I grew up I got bitten by them, and there's a lot of them and they will eat you.
I'm really scared of spiders because I just don't know how they crawl everywhere.
Out of the 40 people we asked, the most common fear amongst people in Coventry was spiders, with an incredible 42% fearing the creepy crawlies. The next most common fears were fears of flying and heights, with 17% of people preferring to keep their feet on the ground. It was clear that people didn't just fear the obvious. We had answers ranging from a fear of death to a fear of Daleks. I can't help but wonder, where do these fears come from? Why do we fear the things we do? Do we simply just dislike them? I'm here to speak to former psychologist Robert Wheeler about what fear is and how it works.
Yes, fear is created by stressful stimulus, often as not, which could be anything from insects to reptiles, or even a knock at the door. And it's usually caused by what we naturally perceive as a threat or something similar. Most of our fears come from things that have been created in our childhood, often as a result of the neuroses of our parents, and again things that we have been told we should be frightened of or made afraid of. For example, when confronted with a wasp or a bee, we might fear ourselves being stung, yet have no real evidence of that, but because we are taking that reference from what our parents have actually told us. So at this point we really don't know whether it's something to be fearful or not, until of course it then happens. And this of course, as a stimulus, it stimulates our heart to beat faster, causing our breath to pulsate more. And this is a logical reaction and a natural reaction in human beings, because it's a stimulus that is created in us from our very birth, and actually goes back hundreds of thousands of years in time to actually our creation. And what is happening as we're becoming more energized, more hormones are being released into our body, and this is stimulating this reaction. And these are basically coming from memory pathways that have been created within us from very early childhood. And of course what happens is this can prolong this fear later in life, and therefore people who don't have that fear can see us as being irrational, when for us it's very real, and very stressful. The difficulty is there is no real known cure out there for this condition, other than obviously trying to understand it and then finding ways to actually face what it is that you fear, and trying to then rationalise where that fear is coming from. And as I said before, this goes back to a very early period in our development as humans being, which is this natural principle which was created in us to either fight or to flight, and to either move towards that which we were fearful of, or of course to then move away from it.
It appears fear is a result of the unknown. We know things like snakes and spiders can harm us, but we don't know if and when this may happen. It's that uncertainty that builds fear in our minds. In the same way people fear death, simply because no one knows what happens once we are gone. This causes us to face up to the unknown, creating us to be fearful.